James Garner spent a lifetime playing men who seemed calm, confident, and quietly heroic on screen. But near the end of his life, the truth he chose to leave behind revealed a far more reflective and vulnerable man. Born James Scott Bumgar on April 7, 1928, in Norman, Oklahoma, Garner's early life was shaped by hardship. His mother died when he was just 5 years old, and a difficult relationship with his stepmother forced him to grow up quickly. Those early struggles forged the empathy and resilience that would later define both his performances and his character. Long before Hollywood found him, Garner lived a rugged, ordinary life, working blue-collar jobs, briefly playing football, and serving in the U.S. Army during the Korean War, where he was wounded twice and awarded the Purple Heart. Those experiences grounded him, giving him a lifelong distrust of pretension and a deep respect for everyday people. When he eventually entered acting in the early 1950s, almost by accident, he brought that same authenticity with him. Unlike many actors of his era, Garner didn't adopt a flashy movie star persona. His style was relaxed, natural, and emotionally honest, and audiences immediately connected with it. His breakout came in 1957 when he was cast as the charming gambler Brett Maverick in the television western Maverick. Instead of the typical stoic gunslinger, Garner played the role with humor, intelligence, and a touch of reluctance, transforming the genre and turning himself into a household name. From that moment on, Garner built a career portraying men who relied on wit and decency rather than bravado. Whether in films like The Great Escape, the Americanization of Emily, Grand Prix, and Support Your Local Sheriff, or later as the lovable private investigator Jim Rockford in the Rockford Files, Garner's characters always felt human, flawed, and deeply likable. Off-screen, he was just as principled. At a time when studios held enormous power, Garner famously sued Warner Brothers and later Universal over unfair contracts, and won, quietly helping reshape the rights of actors in Hollywood. Yet despite his fame, the most remarkable part of Garner's life may have been his marriage. In 1956, he met Lois Clark at a party, and after just 16 days of dating, they married. Many assumed the whirlwind romance would fade quickly, but it became one of Hollywood's most enduring love stories. Garner embraced Lois's young daughter from a previous marriage as his own and later welcomed their daughter Greta, nicknamed Gigi. Though their marriage faced difficult periods and brief separations, they ultimately reunited and remained together for nearly 58 years until his death. Behind the humor Garner often used when talking about marriage was a deep belief in loyalty and perseverance. In the quiet years of his later life, after decades of fame, injuries, and health battles, including multiple knee surgeries, quintuple bypass heart surgery in 1988, and a stroke in 2008, Garner began reflecting on the life he had lived. Among the most touching moments from that period was a personal note he wrote to his longtime friend Doris, a woman who had shared with him not just successful films like Move Over, Darling, and The Thrill of It All, but also a rare understanding of the emotional cost of fame. In the note, Garner admitted something few people expected. Despite his easygoing image, he confessed that he had spent much of his life worrying about work, about money, about whether he truly deserved the admiration he received. He wrote candidly about the pressure of always appearing likable in Hollywood, about the exhausting battles with studios, and about the toll that years of physical pain had taken on him. Yet the letter wasn't bitter. Instead, it was honest. He told Doris that their friendship had mattered because she never expected him to perform or pretend. With her, he could simply be Jim. As he reflected on his life, Garner didn't claim perfection. He acknowledged regrets, missed opportunities, and the moments he had been too hard on himself. But he also expressed gratitude for his family, his loyal fans, and for the simple decency he tried to carry through life. In one of the most powerful lines of the note, he wrote that being kind lasts longer than being famous. Those words captured the essence of the man audiences had admired for decades. When James Garner passed away peacefully on July 19, 2014, at the age of 86, the world remembered him not just as a television and film icon, but as something rarer in Hollywood, a genuinely decent man. And in the quiet honesty of that final reflection, he left behind a message more lasting than any role he ever played, that fame fades, applause disappears, but kindness and truth endure.